You gotta have them strong knees to do that, baby. Yes. Now, this is a square container. Baby, we're not about to plant this up square. We're not gonna have it sitting on the table square, because that would be so square of us to do such. All right, now here go 2 more of the bulbs. You see, they're starting to grow up. Hi, you guys. Welcome out of the garden and into my home. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how, more so taking you guys a little bit behind the scenes. And what I want to do is I want to show you guys the outcome of an arrangement that is going to take about 9 to 13 weeks. More so on the 11 side here in my home, what I've noticed, in order for us to get the first bloom. Go ahead, we'll prep everything up. When it's time for this bloom, which would be an amaryllis bloom, to go ahead and put on its beautiful flowers, we'll stop in, drop in right before the buds open, and we'll plant up a beautiful arrangement. And so that way, if you have amaryllis bulbs, do not throw them out. I'm going to give you guys the proof on what you can do in order to keep your amaryllis bulbs blooming. Now for me, if you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, I love you and thank you so much. But in my garden, here on YouTube, I do a lot of container gardening. I have been container gardening for years. So we've been in our current home for about 14 years now. And before then, we rented. So while we were renting, a lot of landlords do not let you come in and make changes to the land. So I was not going to skimp out on having a garden. So I had beautiful container arrangements on the front of my garden, in my back patio, and I always kept something in bloom in my home. So we've been at this for a very long time now with container gardening. So I think I have a little few tips and tricks underneath my belt that can help you along. And you're probably not struggling, but I'm just going to show you what I do with my amaryllis bulbs in order to save money. Because you guys, amaryllis bulbs, especially with the inflation that they're saying we're going to be facing this upcoming winter, gas prices have been through the roof. It's no telling how much they're going to be. Now what I do is I go ahead, I do all of my amaryllises in containers. When the summertime comes, I set my amaryllis bulbs off in an off location. I keep them in that same container. Reason being is because I want them to soak in the sun. I want them to soak in the light. Amaryllis bulbs will then start to put, get that energy. They'll put out big green leaves. That's fine. When the nights start to get a little bit cooler, you want to take your container, turn your container on the side. And the reason why you're doing that is because now you're exposing that bulb to cold in the same container, and which is why I like to do it that way versus popping them in the ground, which you can, and they will add a beautiful addition to your landscape because you'll have that beautiful foliage, right? But what will end up happening is those cooler nights will go ahead and put it into dormancy. I like to stop watering my amaryllis bulbs a month before. So about August the 26th, I stopped watering my amaryllis bulb. Once the foliage kind of dried away and I did the cold treatment for about 2 weeks, I took it and I put it in a box. So what we're going to do out of this box is we're going to get some plant tags. And I also need to grab my pots that I'm going to be using. And I think the arrangement that I want to do, I definitely know what I'm going to do, but we're going to grab out some plant tags here. So we're going to go, let's do 3. And I have a lot more that I have to pot up, but I'm not going to make you guys wait for that. I'm not going to take you guys through that, okay? So I've already put my bulbs into dormancy. I'm going to pull, I think, my red and white amaryllis. The box that we're going to be pulling is going to be the red. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start off by labeling our plant tags. So today is 9/27. And I just like to put am red. the rest of these as well, and then we'll go ahead and we'll grab the Amaryllis bulbs. And you guys, when I tell you these bulbs are huge, big long roots, you'll see them. You'll see them. I'll make sure. I'm getting excited because this is my favorite time right here. So for some of these, I've already went in and hacked the leaves, but I particularly left the leaves on a few of them just so you all can see the process. So here we have right here, we have an Amaryllis bulbs. You can see where we have some baby bulbs. Now, you can do this twofold. Now, what you can do, because those smaller bulbs will take energy away from the main bulb, you can take those smaller bulbs off and start out with a smaller Amaryllis. You may or you may not get a flower. I tend to leave them in place. Now, I might have to go run and get a bigger container because I don't think this one, yep, it'll fit in there. So with the Amaryllis bulbs, I like to go with pots that are kind of like tot. And I'm actually going to put this one in there, but look at that big long root here, you guys. Here is another one, nice, firm, and big Amaryllis. I would love to have blooms or potential blooms the first or second week of December, you guys. And I am an overachiever when it comes to gardening. Like, I love it because I like to set standards for myself each year. Okay, this is my goal. This is my standard for this year. This is how I want to improve on my garden for next year. So this was one of my goals, and you guys, I'm sticking to the gun. Okay, also, we're going to need some fertilizer, so let me grab that. All right, so we have our tags. So 1, 2, 3. Of course, one is going to always drop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I am going to use bulb tone now because we're forcing this. It's not in its natural environment. We kept it in the container. So I go in and I use a fertilizer so you guys can do something that's not high in nitrogen because you want to promote flower. You want to promote flower development. So I've just always had good success with using some type of bulk fertilizer. You guys, you can use Espoma, you can use Job's. I'm not sponsored by anybody, so I don't necessarily promote a certain brand. And actually going forward, I don't think I'll be promoting any brands on my channel as far as I'll let you guys know, because what works for one product, you can use. I mean, there's so many different type of fertilizer companies. You got Job's, you got Osmocote, you got Espoma. I use Maxi Crop, I use fish fertilizer, you guys. So going forward, I'm not getting paid to promote, so I'm not promoting, you know. I've been saying that for quite some time. I have been saying, you know, use whatever type of plant, you know, and things like that, but I'm going to get off my soapbox. All right, so now, because I definitely don't want nobody to feel like I'm being shady or that I'm salty. All right, so let's put this in here, but business is business. So we're going to come in. I add a little bit of... Now, very important, when I put this in here, you see how we have this real long root here, you guys? So I'm going to work that in a little bit deeper so it can kind of take hold. And I might have to snap this little baby off. Okay, so it was a clean break. And I'm going to put the bulb tone just in there up to the shoulder. I'm just going to pack that in. That's all I'm doing right now. It's just packing this in. So you don't want to go no higher than here. You need to cut this part, the stem off. I'm gonna cut this off right there. And you can, if you want to, peel back some of this to make it look more appealing, sort of like what you see when you get the bulbs fresh. You can peel this back. I typically just leave it alone because I'm gonna have this covered up anyways. And it would have been ideal for me to do this before I popped it inside. All right, so if you see, you can peel it back. I typically just leave them alone. This is our bulb here, and I have a little neck. And what I'll do, I'm gonna run upstairs and get a small terracotta pot for this one. All right, so I have this little terracotta pot. I'm gonna come in. Has a drain hole in the bottom of it. Can you guys see that? Now I could technically take this Amaryllis and it actually fits in here really nice, right? And then I would just set it like this and then let it grow on. And that's actually what I'm gonna do. And I typically have a trash can when I'm working, but I don't know, I wasn't thinking about pulling back the skin. Okay, now since I'm gonna go ahead and put this here, I'm gonna mix the bulb tone up because I wanna get a little bit for my planter here. And I don't need much, I just need enough for my bulb to potentially take root. And actually I probably should go bigger. Yeah, we're gonna go bigger. Only because I want to try to get some roots on it. Too low. That's actually perfect right there. When I water this small container, I'll take this, pop this on top of here. How cute is that? How cute is that? Okay, so I'll take it and I'll set it off to the side here. Now, since I have this mixed up, I might as well go ahead and do another one. This bulb is kind of on the, let me get some smaller containers. I'm going to do a little bit of soil here in the bottom. And I keep doing the same thing I said I wasn't going to do, which was pull the skin off. Okay, just to make it look a little bit more appealing. All right. That's a pretty good looking bulb if you ask me. Look at all those roots, baby. Okay, so, okay, it fits in there. Them up like this versus when they're in the container, and I do like to sink them a little bit lower, but the whole purpose of this setup right here is to go ahead and get the roots to start to sprout in. We're waking this bulb up. We're also providing a little bit of plant food with our bulb tone here. And so now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 You guys, I got a whole nother 3 boxes of Amaryllis bulbs because what I like to do is I buy the Amaryllis bulbs, and one of the things that I do is I request Amaryllis bulbs. I request containers. I request things for my garden for Christmas. And if you know you have a loved one in your life that likes to give out gift cards, say, hey, can you give me a gift card to Sherwood Forest? I get a gift card to Lowe's, Home Depot, Menards. Like my friend's dad used to say Menards, but actually Menards. So you just go ahead, you request those, and just go in and just stock up on Amaryllis bulbs. And so what I like to do is for my smaller bulbs, I use those in my cut floor arrangements. For my bigger bulbs, I use those in big, beautiful, huge displays. I like to take the Amaryllis bulbs apart once I've had one look. So like one year I took an Amaryllis bulb, I put the Amaryllis bulb inside of a green container, but it's a moss lined container. I used it for my display for this spring, right? So I used it there, but I also used it for Christmas time. So I put it in there. You guys, when I tell you that I ended up breaking that down and then setting up another arrangement where I had big, huge sticks coming out the top of it, birch logs, and it gave me a beautiful Christmas look, and I set that on my table. Okay, I'm gonna finish up my chores, you guys. These come into bloom probably, I'm thinking maybe November-ish, maybe like the 3rd or 4th, probably about the 3rd or 4th week of November, we should be able to see some buds. If not, definitely by December the 1st. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these and I'm going to set these up underneath a grow light and on a heat mat. I'm also going to water these in just slightly, just enough to get the roots. And I'm not going to water them in from the top, so let me show you. Okay, can you guys see how much water this is? It's just enough to tickle the roots. That's it, that's all. I don't even want it to saturate all the way up to the top. I kind of want it to just go halfway in there. And you guys, I'll definitely make sure I keep you updated. But let me get off that subject before my bulbs don't turn out right and then I end up having a garden fail. So I'll get with you guys later, and I can't wait for, ooh, hey, yeah. You gotta have them strong knees to do that, baby, yes. Oh, let's set this down, and then I want to show you guys what the Amaryllis bulbs are looking like. You guys, I should be ashamed of myself. I should totally be ashamed because, you know what? Let me just go ahead and grab them. Oh my God, I should be ashamed. All right, now here go 2 more of the bulbs. You see, they're starting to grow up. I definitely got to move these and get these on a different shelf. Sorry about that, you guys. So last week they were not as high because we just put out a video and I did remove them off of the stand. But you guys, these girls are looking good. Let's go ahead and pop this first one up real quick. I see how the Amaryllis bulbs were literally reaching its way through my plant shelf. You guys, I should be ashamed, but you know, it's just a part of life. Things happen, but I'm more happy that I'm able to give an update on how everything looked before they were bloomed out, you guys, because that's typical the way I like to do it. I definitely wanted my arrangement here to mimic the winter time. Now, around this time, I definitely like to have a lot of reds, a lot of whites, a lot of greens. I like to be in the Christmas spirit. So, my Amaryllis bloom is red, and I hope I didn't mislabel these because that has happened in the past. But what we're doing is we're going to play off the traditional Christmas colors here. Now, I have a beautiful vintage white container here, and we're going to come in and we're going to plant up this easy arrangement, you guys. It'll be very easy to duplicate, and if you end up trying it, let me know over on my Instagram at @the_garden queen. if you were able to duplicate it or not, and or on the next video let me know. And I would like to know down in the comment box, are you planting on the inside? So now let's go ahead, let's hop into this. So I have my soil, and I'm not going to need much soil because the Amaryllis bulb, we're going to keep the Amaryllis bulb just as it is, okay? Now, if you wanted to, you can go in and break away some of the soil. Now, when I plant on the inside of my home, I do like to take my tub from room to room. That way it helps keep down on the mess. So let's move this over. Probably need a little bit more space for my planting tub, so let me go grab it. Alright, so I have my planting tub here, so I'm going to go ahead and transfer my container over here. Now, this is a square container. Baby, we're not about to plant this up square. We're not going to have it sitting on the table square, because that would be so square of us to do such. So we planted these up around September the 26th, the 27th. We planted these up, and the goal was to come in and have these blooming about the last week of November or the first week of December. And I see my soil here because I have kept these more on the dry side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this completely in here just like this. And I have a little bit too much soil up underneath it. Okay, took care of itself. But since it just broke apart like that, now what I should have done is come in the night before and give my Amaryllis bulb a little water. That way it would have compacted more. Okay, so I am going to add soil just in there around those roots, you guys. I'm coming in and I'm tucking everything back. But I'm also making sure that I'm providing myself enough room for my plant that's going to accompany this arrangement. And I may have to go get a little bit more soil because I was not banking on that soil breaking up like that. With my first flower here, does this look straight, you guys? Let me know down in the comments. Get some more soil. Want to make sure the roots of our Gerber daisy is 100% packed in. And so if you're doing mixed arrangements with Amaryllis bulbs, just make sure when you're using your accompanying plants that those are mixed in. Now, choices of plants. Okay. So now we have this right here, right? So this is coming, sitting right here. And then okay. Now we're going to come in with the third one right here. And so everything is tucked in. Going to come in and add a little bit more soil here in the front. Now, you guys, isn't this gorgeous? Now imagine that we have our Amaryllis bulb and it's absolutely 100% in bloom. It's doing its thing, and all you see is this big, beautiful show at the top, and then you have the Gerber daisies here that are the understory. Now, I am going to be placing this in a bright, sunny location, so the room with the most light. I am also going to be making sure I go in and I rotate this. Now, once my Amaryllis bulb starts to bloom, if it starts to bend over, I'll show you guys a secret how you can actually get your Amaryllis bulb to stand up without having any type of sticks and twigs. Not that it's anything wrong with that, because I love a good forest, woodland looking arrangement where you have the Amaryllis bulb that comes up and blooms and all of those sticks and the moss and all of that. Absolutely beautiful. But sometimes you got to switch stuff up. One of my container looks full, but the back looks very naked. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in and we're going to dress this up, okay? So let's move this back here, and we'll bring in center stage some water. And we have some beautiful big chunks of moss here. Now, I like to go in and clean out anything that's not attractive at this time. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to put the moss in the water a little bit. And what that is going to do is that is going to allow us to shape the moss to the container a little bit better. Okay, so I'm just coming in, and to make sure I'm not saturating it, I don't necessarily want to get it on my ball, because remember, the goal of that, my bulb, excuse me, the goal is to keep this bulb on the drier side. And I break it apart. This is also going to help anchor in our Amaryllis bulb here. So we're coming in around the side. We're tucking it. So you see how I have this space here? Because let me tell you something. When you guys are doing container arrangements, and it never fails, you're going to have that nosy friend, that nosy neighbor, that nosy family member, the nosy serviceman. Is going to take a peek down in there, because they want to see, is this arrangement real? Because, honey, we're not supposed to have no arrangements living in plants and things like that on the inside of our house. So what I like to do, you go in, you pop it right on in here. Pop it right on in. And then sometimes you got to break this off, the bottom part, because it is a little bit higher depending on what type of moss you get. And I like to shake this out. And there you have it. So in the back, gorgeous. Okay, so now since we have this, let's go ahead, let's style this how I would have it sitting, okay? Let's go ahead, let's style it real quick. Let's wash this up real quick. This all cleaned up, washed down, so it's crystal clear. Now let's go get how we're going to set this on our tables here. Wipe this down a little bit. Mirror here, and we have a vintage look on it. So we're going to come in, we're going to clean this off really quick. And when I'm doing this, you guys, I like to keep paper towels behind me, so that way I can get done and I don't have to go searching. Set this, okay? So we're going to take our beautiful planter here, you guys. It's absolutely 100% gorgeous. Okay, so we're going to sit this. Remember, I said we're not coming in and we're not going to set it down. We're not going to do that. Okay, so we're going to come in and we're going to set this right here, right? So now you have all of this angle to go ahead and style now. This sitting here, it gives us a beautiful reflection down on top of the mirror. So then we come in and we set our dish here, and then we want to come in and we want to color block it, okay? So we're going to come in and we're going to add some of our limes that we harvested the other day. If you guys missed that video, it was absolutely, I had a lot of fun doing it. So we have our limes, our Mexican limes here. let's take this a step further. We want to make sure that we're having a good time. So what we're going to do, you want to let them know that everything was done by intention. So we're going to take this and we're going to rest this just like that. So how gorgeous is this? Close your eyes for a second. You walk into the room and you see that on a sideboard table, on a nightstand, you have this beautiful arrangement here. And what do you have sitting on top? You have this beautiful arrangement. You have your beautiful Gerber daisies. Your Amaryllis bulb is in full-on bloom. This is a red Amaryllis. And when they try to check you, when they try to fact check you in the back, they see that you have your moss here. And it's just not any moss. It has a little bit of texture and beauty to it. But then you go ahead and you get your drink, or they look down and they say, is that real? Yes, it's real limes. Or you're having drinks, would you like another lime? Oh, it's one right there. Just adding these little simple treasures around your home, you guys, definitely elevates the look. I want you guys to take a clip of this video, your favorite part, whether it's at the start when we started planting up these Amaryllis bulbs way back in September. Now we're here in December, you guys, and we have a beautiful arrangement. Drop down in the comment box. Let me know which part of the section you like. Let me know what you think about this look. Take a clip of your favorite part. Make sure to share it on all of your social media outlets. Don't forget to invite your friends, families, and enemies alike to the Garden Queen. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. And I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm getting ready to get this beautiful arrangement in this place. Bye-bye.